big day for Rand Paul. The Kentucky senator is expected to throw his hat in the ring for 2016. He wants to be president. Now, he is a libertarian, certainly a different candidate. That means, can he win? That's code. So let's bring in Brian Darling, former senior communication director and counsel for Senator Rand Paul. Brian, it is good to have you. So we know you know the senator. This is his big chance. It's all about labels at this point. But when you see him, why do you think he has a chance?
I think he's a transformational figure. Look at his 13-hour filibuster to defend the Bill of Rights in 2013. 2014, he sued the president over NSA spying. He's proven to be a champion of the Bill of Rights, somebody who's not afraid to work very hard on civil rights bills. He has his own civil rights legislation he's putting. I think he's reaching out to new aspects of the Republican Party and showing that the Republican Party can grow. And I think he's libertarian-ish. That's what he calls himself. And he's showing that libertarians and Republicans can work together and maybe actually win this primary to be the Republican nominee for the presidency. Libertarian
is a little bit of a dirty word, though, within the GOP. And how does he show that he's got his bona fides with that, you know, the more hardcore GOP voter? Can he do it and still seem sincere, which is a big currency for him?
Of course. I think on foreign policy, it's actually his strength. He's a realist. He's somebody who doesn't believe in the nation building of the past. Look back to the Bush years, and I think that the American people thought that the federal government was a bit too aggressive in the Middle East. I mean, we still have wars in Afghanistan. We still have troops there. We're fighting a new war in Iraq. But he also can balance that. He has proposed his own declaration of war against ISIS. I think he provides a good balance. He doesn't believe in nation building, but he does believe in defeating our enemies like ISIS. And I think that's refreshing for the American people.
He doesn't want to chase the pack. We get that. And then, of course, that's going to be a burden to see when he does chase the pack, he'll be more singled out for it. That's going to come down to personal resolve. You know the man. What don't we know about Rand Paul on a personal level that should matter?
He's a really good guy. I think he's a very personable guy. He's very intelligent. I think Politico called him a one-man think tank because he's the kind of guy that had an idea every day. I think as a staffer, it was refreshing to sit next to him during his filibuster, his 13-hour filibuster, and to watch him speak for an hour off the top of his head without notes. I think the American people are going to meet a guy who's very thoughtful, who's got new ideas, who's a transformational figure, and a guy that they're really going to like.
Does he have a talent that will come out during the campaign that we haven't heard or seen of before? A little saxophone, anything. What does he have?
Well, he's an eye doctor. I don't think many Americans know that he's an eye doctor. That's his profession. He went to Guatemala last year to help out, to volunteer his time to help out people who were didn't have the resources to go to an eye doctor so they could see again. I don't think the American people know that. I think they understand a little bit about him, that he's got a gift for speaking, for public speaking. They saw that in the 13-hour filibuster. But I think they're going to see a guy who's a very personable guy. In Washington, he's known as somebody who loves a congressional baseball game. He's a good guy, and I think the American people are going to see him as a conversational person, a candidate who they can listen to and be comfortable with, and somebody who they can settle on and vote for.
He's got to pass that have a beer test, you're saying, right? It's very important that the American voters understand that there's a relatability there on a human level. Now, he's running about third in the Republican polls, but he's running first in the most recent poll that we have against Hillary Clinton. That's the good news for him, right? The question is going to be is, how does he combine that? How does he combine what makes him popular against Clinton within his own party? How much of that's going to involve who his father is? How does he play that?
Well, he's an anti-establishment candidate. I mean, I don't think the American people are super excited to have a throwback campaign where we're looking at another Bush or another Clinton. I think that he's going to have to build on what his father has done. His father did do very well in Iowa, got over 20% in Iowa caucuses, got over 20% in the New Hampshire primary, but he's his own man. He's very different from his father, but he needs to build on that libertarian Republican base to expand the party and get enough of a percentage to take this nomination if there is a pathway to victory. I think he can do it. I think New Hampshire and Iowa, he spent a lot of time in those states, and he's been pounding the pavement, maybe more than any other candidate. But he needs to establish himself as a guy who's who's going to go out and push back against Washington, D.C. and for the American people.
Well, he's going to get pushback as well. Some positions have changed over time, but we'll leave that to another day. Today is the day to see how strong he comes out of the box. Brian Darling, appreciate your insight into this man very much. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, it's a big day for him.
Thank you.
All right, so now that you've heard about it from somebody who knows him, what do you think? What's the upside and the downside to Kentucky Senator?